Hey everybody, it's Carl, and what I want to talk about today is initiative. Most games have an initiative system for combat. You roll a d20, you add some bonuses, and that's your order for the game. Savage Worlds also has an initiative system, which is pretty cool because with the way the game system's put together, you can use initiative to drive strategy in play. It's not just a way of deciding who gets to go first. It's a way of providing another level of gameplay, strategy, tactics, character, narrative part of your character. It's cool.
It's a savage world, strange as a weird war. It's a savage world, classics to explore.
Hi, it's Carl, again, with Tabletop Tago. I would love it if you like and subscribe because the higher the numbers, the more chances I get to use the community tools, and that would be cool. We know we're not going to be famous, but whatever. So let's get right to it. So as I mentioned, most games have a component that's for initiative, and most games think of it, it's just a way of determining who gets to go when, so there's no confusion. So there may be a bonus, maybe a particular trait roll. You roll a d20 based on where you land. You rack and stack them, and then every turn you keep cycling around. That's kind of the D&D way, and there's nothing wrong with that. Savage Worlds, though, what's kind of cool is it uses, if you've played it, you've read it, whatever, you know that it uses playing cards, and it uses these playing cards in a way that each round you're dealt a new card. So you may be going first early round, you might go later in another round, but everybody has an opportunity at some point to get that luck of the draw and be able to go sooner in the round. To build that out, there is some cool things that now drive character design or the strategy on how you do things. So, for example, if you're dealt a card, you can spend a Benny to get another card. So if you're really trying to get to that higher position this time because you really need it, it's part of the plan, we got to take some action, you can throw that Benny out and hope you get a better card. It also gives you a chance to draw more cards because in Savage Worlds, if you get a Joker, you get to go anytime in a round, and you get a +2. So and you get a Benny. So pulling those jokers from a player standpoint is great and has a really positive impact. So the more cards you can pull, the more likely you are going to get a joker, which is pretty cool. Part of the strategy. How many cards are you going to try to pull? So we spend our Benny. We can get might get a better card. Other things is edges play into that. So your character build or how you think of your character, let's say you think they're a quick draw and they're really fast and nobody gets the upper hand on them. There's edges called, for example, quick, which allows you to draw another card if you have a card lower than 5. So you're always getting a chance to push yourself up that order. There's things like level-headed, which gives you 2 cards and you can pick which one you want. And you may say, well, why would I pick the lower card? I always want to go earlier in the round. But there's other edges like calculating that lets you use, if you're lower in the order at a certain level, you get a bonus to your action. So if you can wait, you can take advantage of that. So there's strategy in how you're driving, where you want to be in initiative, and how you're taking advantage of it. There's also things like Tactician, which then lets you have that same impact on your extras or the people fighting or the folks working with you. So that's pretty cool. So every wild card on the player side pulls a card. On the antagonist side, their wild cards pull a card, and then usually a game master will take sets of mooks. So if you've got a number of the same thing, you'll put those all in one card. So we now dealt out the cards and we know where everybody's set up. We've took advantage of our character build to add some flavor, and we took advantage of some of those things to try to pull more cards or try to get higher in the order. So now once we start, there's also tactics, and I should say strategy involved. So at any time, if it's your turn, you don't have to go. You can go on hold. And what that means is you can go a different part of the order, which is good because that means you can see what other people are doing. But what's really cool is you can interrupt actions. So you can say, I am waiting for that bad guy to step out, take his movement, and he's going to shoot, and then he's going to step back behind. Well, I can now interrupt. He's going to move. I can interrupt that action before he shoots. It's a opposed athletics roll. And if I win, then I get to go first. So he hasn't been able to step out, shoot, and then get back behind cover. I'm able to interrupt him and take advantage of that situation. Goes back to your character build. You want your character to be the kind of person who can take advantage of that situation, then you want to bump those athletics up. It's not just, climbing and running and stuff like that, or not running, climbing and throwing and all that sort of thing. Now you can use it for kind of helping you with your initiative or how you're going through the order. So that's pretty cool. So now we have holding, and what happens to somebody at the end of the order? A thing you can do at the end of the order, you don't have to force yourself to act. I got a 5, and so I'm the last person, and so I might, stuff has happened. I got my turn. All right, well, I'll do something. You can hold, and you can hold across the round where you start at the top of the order then, because you held. And now you're just like you started at the top of the order. You can hold and wait to interrupt an action. You can take advantage of that sort of situation. So now you can have a little more strategy in how you're going to play the lower card. It's not just, oh, I'm going to do an action no matter what. Maybe it's more advantageous to wait to the next round and start higher in the order so that you can take advantage of a hold there, remaining on hold, so you can maybe interrupt an action, or you can wait for somebody on your team to do something. So that's all pretty cool. So we have the final thing, and I should have mentioned it earlier, was if you draw a joker, and I think I maybe talked a little bit about that, but you draw a joker, you start at the top of the order and you can go anytime, and you get a +2. So as I mentioned, the more cards you draw, the more likely you might get a joker, and then that is hugely advantageous. So let's think about the initiative system. We'll kind of finish it up and finalize our thoughts on it. So card initiative's pretty cool because it's easy to deal. There's no question as who goes first. You can take advantage of edges to modify the number of cards or what cards I can keep, or that sort of thing. Sometimes it's advantage to go lower because the whole game system's around some interesting things like that. Now, I'm not saying D&D doesn't have, maybe edges or something that affect you can re-roll initiative or something, but I'm saying Savage Worlds really, it's all built into the system that initiative is like is beyond just defining who gets to go first. It has a huge strategy element. So we can try to drive more cards. We can try to drive where we are with edges. We can take advantage of holding and interrupting actions to really make a difference in the gameplay. So initiative, like I said, not just to figure out where you go in the turn. You can use it as a strategic advantage, or a strategy or a tactical advantage, whatever the right term is. But you can use that with your party or your partners and make sure that you are going when you want to go, you are pushing the attack when you want to push the attack, and you're stepping back when you want to step back. So anyway, I hope you found this enjoyable. I'm Carl again with Tabletop Tango. Please like and subscribe, and check out other ones of our videos. Thank you.
It's a savage world. Strangers are weird war. It's a savage world. Classics to explore. It's a savage world.